Oh, you're setting up everything, this interface and stuff.
No, I'm all set up now. I'm giving you controllability, though I would ask that you not use it too much until I ask you to use it. Um,
Okay.
and let's go into our classroom. So today we are going to be, oops, this thing is not formatted properly. There we go. All right, so something that I know is very difficult or that a lot of people have some issues with is unit conversions, especially for chemistry. Hence our wonderful modern alchemist um, drawing here. And when it comes, so typically you'll put liquid volume inside of beakers, but people don't commonly understand what a deciliter or a centiliter, a milliliter, or how those values move into each other, or how to convert between metric or imperial units into milliliters for stuff like medicine. For example, if your doctor tells you, okay, you need to take a tablespoon of medicine, what's the milliliter equivalent, right? So
Yeah.
not a lot of us know that, and I'm going to be going over the shapes real quick so we can make sure that everyone is caught up and up to date before we get too far ahead into our material. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll bring up our interface here, and this is what we'll be playing in today.
Okay.
Right here, and you'll already be familiar with this, but we have others who are not. Our smallest unit is the milliliter,
Mm-hmm.
which there's actually an even smaller unit than a milliliter called a drop. That is 1/20th of the size of a milliliter. So it's itty bitty bitty. But that's only used for higher stages in chemistry and in medicine. All right.
Mm. Okay.
Next up, we have our teaspoon right here. Teaspoons are made up of 5 milliliters, approximately.
Mm.
These values are all approximations because the metric system and the U.S. customary system are inherently different systems. They have different histories, different values, and they don't measure up exact. But for things when it comes to something like cooking or general measurement, if you're just trying to make conversions, you'll only be off by a fraction of or by only by a very small percent. You'll be off. All right.
Okay.
So that's something to keep in mind and to be considerate of. And we have five. Ooh, this can be tricky
Five,
even for me.
oh, five
There.
milliliters in one teaspoon.
Very
Hey.
good. Thank you for that. Um, so, and also something very important to consider when it comes to these, give me 1 second. There we go. Something very important to consider when it comes to milliliters and teaspoons as we climb up in these values
Mm-hmm.
is that everything is going to be based off of what you need it to be. Okay.
Mm.
If you don't need a milliliter, we won't be you won't include the milliliter in your conversions. And this is when you apply it in real life. So if you need to convert a certain amount of, and I'm just throwing units out here, a certain amount of ounces into deciliters, and you don't need milliliters, we want to even include them.
Actually, what exactly is a deciliter?
We'll get into that. I'll show you soon. All right. We're actually going to
Mm-hmm.
start out with the centiliter. The centiliter is the next unit up from a teaspoon, but we'll get into that.
Mm.
All right. And see,
Okay.
so, and beforehand, we didn't even include the centiliter because we weren't using a centiliter. We didn't need it. All right. But since we're starting to move into that shape, then we can start to include the centiliters.
Okay.
So moving along, we have our milliliters group inside of teaspoons. So this teaspoon is made up of is made up of 5 milliliters. And then this tablespoon is made up of 3 teaspoons. We can see how they go into the shapes like this. Okay. And then and that has 15 milliliters inside of it because each of these have
5 milliliters.
very good. And then if we were to continue to move up, we have our ounce, which has how many of these tablespoons inside of it, Kira? Can you help me out?
They have 2 tablespoons because 5 milliliters. Well, not five, my bad. No, teaspoons is a tablespoon. So since we have 6 teaspoons to make a full ounce, there would be two.
Excellent. There would be 2 tablespoons. Perfect. One, two. All right. So these are the pieces as we have them right now. These are the basic pieces we're going to be starting out with. And then also what I'll do is I'll add in our centiliter piece. Our centiliter is made up of 2 milliliters. I mean, 2 teaspoons.
Okay.
It's made up of 2 teaspoons. And it's approximately 10 milliliters. All right.
Approximately 10 milliliters. Yes.
Yep. And it'll come in handy for us later. We'll get into the deciliters in the future as well. Those are a lot bigger than these
Oh,
teaspoons. A deciliter is going to be made up of 10 centiliters. So if we were to stack this on top of each other
okay.
10 times.
Okay.
So, but we don't need to go all the way up into there right now. All right.
Yeah.
So this will just sit at the in-betweens point. Now, over here, we have our chart where we're going to place the units into the place space. Now, give me 1 second while I get some water.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Mhm.
But we're going to then place all of our units inside of these spaces. Okay. Um there are some very important rules to consider when placing our pieces. Number one, you cannot overfill a space. There are only 5 milliliters that can fit inside of this space here. After you reach to the top, you cannot continue to add more. You have to jump and group the milliliters into a teaspoon and then carry them over into the next cup. You cannot go beyond 5 milliliters in this first column section here. Okay.
So then after a centiliter in the teaspoon section, we can't add any more. So then once we stack one on top, will have to be converted to a tablespoon.
Very good. So after we get to the centiliter, like you said,
Mhm.
if we can't overflow, so if we want to continue to go up, we have to go over to tablespoons and add another unit.
Or if there's like 1 milliliter, just put that in the milliliters column.
Exactly. So what would happen if we wanted to add another teaspoon? Where would we place that?
If we wanted to add another teaspoon, we'd add it in the teaspoon column.
And where would that be? Can you circle it for me?
All right, let me get access. This would be down here, teaspoon.
Excellent.
So then, once the teaspoons get full, and you have, let me do that. Represent that. So once the teaspoons get full, then we'd have to either add another milliliter, depending on our equation, or we'd have to move that over on top of the tablespoon once again. And then the two groups will form an ounce because an ounce consists of 30 milliliters or 2 tablespoons.
Perfect. Can you show me what that'll look like?
All right. Let me V. There we go. So that would look like.
Yeah, 1 second.
Okay. I don't think I can click anything else. All right. We'll have to wait. Oh, wait. Oh, never mind. I got my rights back. Okay. We're gonna wait.
Sorry. Give me one.
Understood.
Sorry, came across a little emergency. But we're back in session now. Let's go ahead and clear our play space. Can you move? Yep, you should be able to move these pieces over here. Okay, cool. So, the process that Ms. Kira is going to show us through is the clear carry process, and this is the grouping system that we use in order to get from one column to the next. This is how the values actually work when we do these unit conversions, is that they're all grouping inside of one another and then carrying to a different place. So Kira, can you please give us a demonstration of what that would look like?
All right, so for clear and carry. So let me first drag out our little milliliters. We'll start off small. Uh-oh. Okay, just did that. So we have one, well, now we have two. So let's say, uh-oh, let's say we have 1 milliliter. We need 5 to make a teaspoon. So what will happen is, once we have 5 milliliters present, for 5 technical difficulties, hold on. There's 5 in there. We'd have to clear that because the rule is we're not allowed to overflow. So what would happen is this would turn into a singular teaspoon because a singular teaspoon has 5 milliliters. So then we'll drag out a teaspoon right here. And then what would happen is we'd clear this group of 5 individual milliliters. So then vice versa, let's say we have another teaspoon at the top, which would be a centiliter. Yes, a centiliter. So then we'll have it in teaspoons, but let's say, for instance, we have one more. Let's say we just need 1 more milliliter. You see, it's okay. We won't overflow, so we can just put it in the milliliters column because it's clear. But let's say we just have 5 of those milliliters. Fill up that column right there. Uh-oh, I'm gonna go quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. So then that would all convert into another teaspoon. So then what will happen is this is all going to convert into a singular tablespoon because a singular tablespoon holds 15 milliliters or also 3 teaspoons. So then vice versa will happen. We'll go back. Then we'll clear these two. Gone. And then let's say we just have miraculously another tablespoon. That'll then convert into an ounce because 1 tablespoon is half an ounce or half a fluid ounce. So 2 would make a full ounce or a full 30 milliliters. And then that'll convert into the ounces beaker. So then we'll clear the tablespoons because again, we're not allowed to overflow these columns or these beakers. So that's how clear and carry would work. Boom.
Excellent. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, perfect. Excellent. I think that was an excellent explanation that you gave us. Thank you very much.
Let me remove this. I think you're clicking. Okay.
Say again?
I was trying to clear it, but I can't. So I think you're like clicking something probably.
Oh yeah, I wasn't on that page. So we can go ahead and clear it.
Wait, no, we gotta go back. Hold on.
You can go ahead and fix that.
So let me bring a few back for a second because we need these. We need these. Move that. And then bring back our individual milliliter. Boom. All right, now we can remove the rest. All right, now we're cleared.
Excellent. So let's make use. Let me make sure that we went over all the concepts we were supposed to. Oh, and can you hear the printer in the background, Kira?
Barely.
Okay, that's good. I'll live with barely. here's something for everyone at home that's very important to consider. And here's something that can really help you with learning these concepts a lot easier. And that's by using what we call snap blocks. Snap blocks are these linking cubes that you can buy off of Amazon, and that will provide you the link to in the description, that you can build these pieces with. So what you would do is the teaspoon would be a single snap block cube. Okay? Milliliters would be represented by little pieces. They could be pebbles or coins, just anything smaller than your smallest snap block cube. Then you can connect 3 snap block cubes in order to make a tablespoon. And then you would connect 6 snap block cubes in order to make a ounce. So it would be ideal that all of these are the same color so that you can start to create larger shapes with them, or they can be different colors so you can see how the individual shapes move into one another. So then you can see how many tablespoons are inside of a teaspoon or inside of an ounce, and how many teaspoons are inside of a tablespoon, and so on and so forth. So go ahead and make those. Say again.
My bad. I'm just saying, for reference, for those who don't remember what snap blocks are, they're literally just those things you saw in elementary school. They literally just look like this with a circle in the middle, and the little snap piece on top, like a Lego. Pretty much looks like this. Just for those who want to know what those look like.
Thank you very much for that visual demonstration. I appreciate that. I didn't have my snap block cube picture ready, so thank you for filling it in. So yeah, so thank you again, Kira, for telling us how the pieces look. Go ahead and find some of those, and then you can follow along, or you can even cut out little sheets of paper. Those will suffice as well that you mark down, and then you can drag out pieces into your own personal chart that you can draw at home to follow along with future lessons.
What was that website that you also allowed me to use? It also had snap blocks on it. I forgot what it was called.
That was, I think it was called Didact's website. That's an excellent virtual tool that you can use as well. That would actually be perfect. And we'll also put a link to that in the description, so that cause I don't know where it is this second. But we'll pull it up later so that or put it in the description so that everyone can see. Okay? All right. So now let's go ahead and exercise some of what we just learned. Actually, let me. Okay. All right. So yeah, let's use some of what we just learned by doing some by placing some units into our play space. All right. So for example, if we were to have 8 milliliters and we want to place that into the play space, okay. When you're at home, what you would do is you would start out with the largest unit. You would try to find out, okay, how many units, or can an ounce fit inside of 8 milliliters? All right. It's no. An ounce has 30 milliliters inside of it, so that's too big. Then we go down to a tablespoon. Can a tablespoon fit inside of 8 milliliters? No. Go ahead and say it.
I was going to say, no, it cannot. 15 is too big to fit into 8 milliliters.
Excellent. And then next one down. What about 5 milliliters? Can that fit inside of 8 milliliters?
Now, 5 milliliters can fit into 8 milliliters once.
Awesome. So go ahead and show me how will we place that onto the play space. You teach me.
All right. So we know 5 milliliters can fit into 8. So we're going to drag that into the teaspoons column, because 5 milliliters is 1 teaspoon. But it can only fit once, because if we add another, it'll be 10. So we can't do that anymore. So to get 8 more milliliters, to get 8 milliliters, we'd need 3 more milliliters. So then we'll go to our individuals. We know that 1 milliliter can fit in the remaining 3 spaces and to make up 8. So what we're going to do is drag our little individual milliliter pieces into the column. Oh, I think I just copied all of them. I did. So it would be 1 teaspoon and 3 milliliters once I get that sorted out. Uh-oh. Well, it's not cooperating.
Here, let me help you out.
Thank you.
Oh, no problem.
All right. 1, 2, 3. So 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, that'll be a total of 8 milliliters.
Excellent. So that's how we would place it out. Now, what happens in the future if you were to get so these conversions work both for metric and customary units. So for example, if we wanted to place 1 tablespoon and 4 and 6 milliliters, excuse me, if we wanted to place 1 tablespoon, 1 TBL and 6 milliliters. I don't know why I kept on trying to say 4. We can place both of these units inside of this chart. And all we need to do is go to the first unit. We need to figure out, okay, do we have a 1 tablespoon piece? Yes, we do. So we can just drag that out into the tablespoons column right here. And then we go to 6 milliliters. And we would say, hey, can we drag out any pieces to make 6 milliliters? Well, we know that 5 lives inside of 6, so we would drag that out into the teaspoon spot. And then we know we would need 1 more because we can count up from 5 to 6. So then we drag out 1 milliliter inside of our play space like that. All right. So that's how you can build up groups that even have units from different place value systems and from different measurement systems. So, Kira, do you remember what a centiliter is? Do you remember how many units are?
I know a centiliter is 2 teaspoons.
Very good. So, can you go ahead and help me place 2 centiliters?
Okay.
And yeah, help me place 2 centiliters inside of the play space.
All right. So let me get to it. So we know 2 centiliters is equivalent to 2. Wrong tool. Hold on. So we know 2 centiliters is equivalent to. Why is it doing that? It's equivalent to 2 teaspoons. We know that. So that's 1 centiliter. But we can't overflow the teaspoons because if you want to add another centiliter, that will go into tablespoons. So what we'll do is, oh, I forgot I done took it over. All right, so we'll copy that, drag that on top. Why is it? Hold on. It is not moving. Okay. Technical difficulties. There we go, I did it. All right, so we know that we have 1 centiliter is 2 teaspoons. Now, if we stack it on top, we can't overflow it. So we'll have to move this whole thing over to a tablespoon. So right now we have a centiliter and 1 teaspoon, and that goes into a tablespoon. So let's move that over. So to get 2 centiliters, we'll need 1 more teaspoon because again, 2 centiliters is equivalent of 4 teaspoons. So I keep forgetting that's not over there. So that means we'll have to drag 1 teaspoon into the teaspoons column. So let me do that. And then boom. Oh, okay. Or not boom. Hold on. I'm getting it. I'm getting the hang of it. More technical difficulties. Okay. Yeah, it does not want to copy for me. Oh, I know why. Never mind. Pressing the wrong buttons, guys. But this is what 2 centiliters would look like. 1 tablespoon and 1 teaspoon. Because again, 2 centiliters is an equivalent of 4 teaspoons.
So what would be our U.S. customary equivalent of 2 centiliters?
U.S. customary. Refresh me.
The U.S. customary system are the tablespoons, teaspoons, ounces.
So then the U.S. customary would be 1 tablespoon and 1 teaspoon.
Very good. Perfect. All right. So those are the basics of the game. Don't forget to go build your own pieces at home and
Mm-hmm.
to get your snap blocks so that you can follow along with our future lessons. Okay? And that's going to conclude our stream for the day. I look forward to seeing everybody tomorrow so we can have some more fun with these American math hacks and continuing to learn the U.S. customary and metric conversions.
And don't forget to check the description for more resources to follow along. All right.
All right. Thank you very much and happy learning.